What up, watch peeps? As is so often the case in my life, I stumbled ass backwards into something awesome. This time around, what I'm talking about is the DIY Watch Club watchmaking kit. This one was an extra, accidentally sent to the Just Watches YouTube channel, so big thanks to the DIY Watch Club guys for letting me keep it. Big thanks to Jason over at Just Watches for thinking of me and forwarding it on. So I recorded the whole process. I didn't do every step-by-step, pressing the hands. I find it tedious and kind of hard to do on camera, but I did get the overall big picture of the build step-by-step, couple screenshots of their website and stuff, so it should be a pretty cool video. Let's check it out. I'm Pete, and we are chilling with watches. Wrist check. I am wearing the Tiffany blue Pagani BB36. This is just a fun little watch. I hate to think that I got sucked into the Tiffany blue, but man, it's just such a good color. But what we have today is the DIY Watch Club kit. I did another video where I unpacked the kit that it all comes in. It comes in a really nice case and an organizer. So if you weren't curious what all was in there, how it was packed, I have a video on that. But today what we're going to do is try and build this watch. So the first thing you want to do is pull out this welcome card and you scan this QR code and it will take you to their website, which is amazing. It has all sorts of step-by-step videos and pictures and text explanation of the whole process. Really good. I wish I had something like this when I started out modding. Very nice job on their website. I was really impressed with that. So what we're going to start with is this movement, first step, and it is a good movement. Wait till you see this thing. This is a fully skeletonized Seiko NH movement. I forget what they call it, 37 or something weird, but it is super cool looking. And why does it matter that it's super skeletonized? Well, because we have a transparent sapphire dial that we are going to use on there. So that's actually going to be our first step. Let's get this dial onto that movement. So a couple things to mention with this dial is that, well, one, it's sapphire, so you do have to be careful with it. It can crack. It's not like a normal brass dial. It's not going to be malleable or bendable at all. And it has no dial feet either. So if you take a closer look here, what you'll see is there's two little holes in the dial, and they provide you with these screws. They're not really screws. They do have screw heads, but they're more like pegs that go through the dial into the movement, the plastic part of the movement where the dial feet would normally go. You just take a screwdriver and kind of work it back and forth while pressing down very lightly, and it seats quite easy actually. The other thing is you got to make sure no dust underneath the dial or on the movement either, because that will show through, being as the dial is transparent. Next up is to install the hands. They give you two sets here. I'm assuming that is to account for any mistakes you might make, because they look like they are identical handsets. I don't see any difference really. So I'm going to go ahead and get these set on the movement and check back in. Okay, I've got the hands on. That went on no problem at all whatsoever. Real easy. Their hands presser is really nice. Just, it feels like a precision tool. I can't quite get it to focus. The holes on the ends are really small, but they're really nice and clean. Everything looks flush and level, really easy to use. It's a nice hands presser they have there. But yeah, so far this is looking super cool. That sapphire dial is legit when the light hits it and you can see through to that skeletonized movement. Handset is also a cool choice with the arrows. I love that counterbalance on the seconds hand. So far so good. We're looking real good here. I think the next step really is just to case it. So the case construction is a little different on these than your standard kind of Seiko mod. I don't know if I can see here. This actually uses a movement holder slash spacer. That's the black ring you're kind of seeing here around the outside of the movement. And then the chapter ring actually has dial feet on it that fit into that movement spacer. And there is another spacer that I'm going to need to put on top of here before I set the case down over top of this. But it all went together really good. Everything was super clean, dust free, except till I got to the chapter ring. Once I got the chapter ring, there's some dust on that one, which transferred to the dial, but easy peasy, all cleaned up. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this thing cased. You know, they tell you in the videos you're going to spend the most time getting the dust off of the crystal inside the case, and I did. It took quite a bit. The dial itself was super clean, as was the movement. I barely had to get any dust off of there. But the inside of the crystal, yeah, that took a little bit, but I am satisfied with what I got right now. And, you know, maybe I was a little overly nitpicky about the dust, but it looks super clean. So right now I got it all cased. Everything looks good. Everything looks like it lines up real nice as far as chapter ring to dial. I'm going to go ahead and put that crown in here and then put the case back on. I think we're just about done until we do the bezel insert. All right, we are all cased up. And you can see it's a really pretty NH movement too. It's kind of got a, I don't know, PVD. It's darker metal than normal. I don't know if that's some sort of coating or DLC, but it looks really good. Same on the front side for the skeletonized part underneath. It was all kind of like a darker metal than stainless, but really neat moving. If I can get the light just right. Yeah, it looks good. And this bezel feels like a 60 click, which is going to be awesome. And the action on it is phenomenal. So all we have left to do, case back's on and tight. Love that display case back. All we have left to do is install the bezel insert. The chapter ring, they provide really great instructions for how to align the chapter ring to the dial, and it is really easily adjustable, so I had no problem getting that all lined up. The bezel insert is a little tricky because you can see here it's a two-piece bezel, and I think this metal ring is supposed to stay attached in there. It doesn't really stay together on its own, so I'm going to hope that it stays together long enough for me to get this thing kind of taped down to the bezel. All right, there we go. I got the bezel insert in, and that basically completes the build project here. All I got to do really now is put a strap on it. I did have a little bit of trouble keeping that inside metal ring in the insert as I was trying to install it. It fell out once. I kind of put it back in, trying to avoid getting the sticky on the bottom on my hands. But once you have the bezel insert into the bezel, it'll hold that inner ring into place. It's kind of like a step design, so it holds it there. But it looks great. I love this kind of brushed ceramic loomed bezel insert. Really cool watch. Let's get a strap on this so we can check it out on wrist. And there it is on wrist, the final product. Looks pretty cool. This is the supplied FKM quick release strap that they give you. Look at those big, fat, polished chamfers. That looks cool. I was afraid it was going to be a little thick, but it's really not. It hugs the wrist well. Has a nice shape. It's a 41. I think the lug to lug might be a little long, but they got a lot of turn down to them. Pretty nice little strap too. FKM is a great material. They're quick release. So easy breezy, looks comfortable enough, looks great on there. And man, I have to mention this one more time. This bezel action, short of the Black Bay, may be the best of any watch I own. It's really good. It's just got this, it's not a lot of resistance. It might be medium to light resistance, but it feels like a ceramic ball bearing 60 click, and it's real precise and lines up really well. All 60 clicks all the way around the dial. Really awesome, super cool project. Thanks to DIY Watch Club. This was actually sent out to Just Watches, so thanks to him as well for thinking of me and sending it over. DIY for letting me keep it and build this killer watch. And you know I couldn't let you go without a Lume Shot, because this thing has insane lume as well. Look at that BGW9. This is some of the best BGW9 I've seen. Super bright. Must be on there really thick. Real consistent as well too throughout the, the bezel insert to the dial to the hands. The lume on this thing is awesome. So there you go, the DIY Watch Club. This is a killer little watch, and this whole process and stuff, their whole business model is just super cool. If you're brand new to modding, this is definitely something you should look into, because you can get the tools, the watch parts, and all the tutorial videos really well done, all in one place at one shot. If you're a more experienced modder, you don't have to buy the tools. You can buy just kits of the parts, reuse the tools you got, and build some cool watches. And I'm think they might even have like an a la carte where you can just pick cases, dials, and stuff that are all compatible. So go check them out. All right, that's it. Before I let you go, sneaker check. No, you know what? I didn't bother with a sneaker check. That's it. I'm out. If it's not too much trouble, please like, subscribe, and come back next time. Peace.